What is today? I don't know. It's April something. Do I have to go out and look at the calendar? I should know. Sorry, Marvin. Too loud. Is this the way the recording is going to go? No, it's the beginning of April. I think it's April 7th. It's Tuesday night. I know it's Tuesday because I took the garbage out. Yeah. Tuesday, April 7th, 2015, y'all. So I had this thought, and I'm not really sure if I'm supposed to be recording it, or if there's any such thing as supposed to be recording it. I don't know. Anyway, because usually what happens is when something comes to me, I totally unbuttoned this thing wrong. Is I pull out my recorder as it's coming to me, and but tonight when I was driving around, boy, I buttoned every last button wrong. Anyway, I buttoned my pajama top wrong, and you feel kind of doofish. Is that a word? I feel kind of dumb when you do that. Like, no. You're like 3 when you learn how to button a shirt, you know. Anyway, but the thought came to me earlier, and I didn't pull out my recorder. I had a bunch of crap on my front seat, and I didn't feel like digging around, and it just didn't feel like, you know. So let me just see if I can, I don't want to do this from memory, though. I just want to talk. So, what if, okay, I'll back up. So if this existence is I don't know, is it a way of perceiving reality? Because people always say, like, you know, this isn't reality or that isn't reality. Reality is what is, you know, or what I'm experiencing is reality, right? So I don't know if that's really an appropriate thing to say now, you know? And then it kind of trivializes this thing that we're having here. Why can't this be just as motherfucking important as whatever else is going on, you know? In consciousness or whatever. Why does this have to be the shit stop, you know? We've kind of made it that way. It doesn't have to be. Anyway, so let's see if I can get back to my thought now. It's like I swim out really far away from where I'm starting off, and then I'm looking around like, any markers or anything in the ocean to show me my way back to where I was trying to go originally. So, so if it's true that everything is reality, while also being perception, you know, it's our certain way of reading, encoding, understanding the input that we're receiving, and we provide responses. So you know, different vibrations perhaps produce different responses. I think I talked about that a few recordings ago, depending on how you're existing. So I'm trying to figure out how the story of creation, the story of Adam and Eve, the story of the flood, the story of Jesus Christ, and all of these, and other like scriptures or holy writings or myths, tales that were told, passed down, whatever, are they all just, get ready for it, they are perhaps descriptions of our individual experience of life? Can it be that? That, we are always, why, that's why we feel so tiny. Because how could we ever understand that, that my existence is of such magnitude that, and that the story of my existence has been told throughout the ages. And everyone can say that because those stories are expressions made in this realm of reality, just experienced, period, including the reality that we're experiencing now. Does that make sense? So, for example, I take the story of Adam and Eve and the trees and the garden and everything. Okay, so what if I'm a person that says, okay, you know what? Those aren't events. If we're living if reality, we're going to use that word next, I can't think of another word, is timeless. If this moment is timeless, then the story of Adam and Eve and the garden and all that, that's now. The story is now. It doesn't belong in any place in space and time. I'm experiencing it, so there's a garden, and they're in the garden, and the garden is where they truly were, right? In the story. Take it to me now. So now I'm in the garden. However, if I don't realize how awesome that is that I'm in the garden, and so for some reason, naturally I will realize it. However, what if there's a thing, called knowledge? And it says, no, you know what? The knowledge that you are experiencing is not really knowledge. This ever-flowing knowing that comes to you naturally through just being alive and in sync and in balance with nature everywhere. The knowledge of life is communicated to you instantly. And that's what you need. But then maybe some thing goes awry. I don't know. I can't fill in all the gaps. This is just some ideas or whatever. So, but something says, wait a minute. No, you want to know for sure. You want to check your facts. You want to take in some information and process it and come to determination yourself of what it is to be happy, to be in paradise, to be to have knowledge, to be in a position of receiving knowledge. This knowledge you're receiving, the mind is getting left out of that, right? The mind is getting left out. And in this other instance, the mind is at the forefront now. Introduction of the mind. And so the way I live my life, taking it back personal again, the way I live my life is either me eating the tree from the knowledge, eating the tree, because I would eat a tree, eating the fruit from the tree of knowledge, and doing that, saying, no, this isn't good enough for me. This isn't the kind of knowing. I don't trust this kind of knowing. I want to be able to decide for myself what my condition is. If I'm really happy, if I'm really in paradise, if I'm really, let me decide. So when you do that, you get kicked out of the garden, right? So now, okay, you take in your knowledge, and as soon as you take in your knowledge or you go that way, not take in your knowledge, but as soon as your intention is that in that direction, you're gonna handle it, as an individual. You're gonna make sure that you are provided for by all of the forces of nature and the universe, within and without. I'll do it myself. Well, guess what? Then you're not in a garden anymore, and you don't feel like you're in the garden anymore, and you're banned from the tree of life, which is, so now let's take that personal again. All right, I keep going back and forth. I'm so sorry if it's confusing. And it's almost 11 minutes, but I can't stop in the middle here. So if you don't like this one, go to another one. Anyway, however, for a person to come to that realization, not just this little story that I'm saying on the recorder, you come to this realization of, is that really how it's going down? And then something happens, I don't know, and then you find it, fuck yeah, I'm in paradise. I am in paradise. And you, you're satisfied with the fruit from all the trees, okay? But you have no interest anymore in any tree of knowledge, of quote knowledge. So it's not even there anymore. When you come to that place where before all the fruit of the goddamn garden wasn't enough for you. And now, there was every goddamn kind of fruit there that they could have wanted, or enjoyed. But no, I want the fruit from that tree, right? But now, and you know what? Perhaps all of the trees become the tree of life. Maybe that's why they're kicked out. I don't know. That's just something I just threw in there. But anyway, but guess what? Access is granted to the tree of life now because you've come full circle, And if you really think about it, why wouldn't this be an allegory? Because, now you got Adam and Eve kicked out of the fucking garden. And you just kind of left. There's like this little itch in your head, in your brain, like, well, what the fuck ever happened with the tree of life? It's just sitting there, because the story says there was a tree of knowledge and good bad, there was a tree of life. And then there's no more mention except for they were banned from the garden so they couldn't get to the tree of life. And but then you never really find out it doesn't say too much. And that's maybe because we have to understand what that whole thing is. It is me or you, whoever you are. And once you realize, and there's a process to it. It's not just this realization. You go through the different life situations and stuff, and you get to realize that what's really going on, Once you do, you no more have interest in the brand of knowledge that somehow got thrown into the mix. But it wasn't, it's not really part of the story anymore. This is gone. And you're granted access, and now you live in the garden. And perhaps everyone who has learned to live in the present moment is in the garden. Perhaps we are in the garden together. So anyway, I guess that kind of sort of turned out okay from what I was thinking about in the car earlier, but I was probably just too lazy to, I don't know, for whatever reason. It wasn't laziness. It was just, I didn't feel that it was the right time to do it. So that's probably right. As long as I just listen, then it's okay. Then it's right. So, but what if that's what's really going down? would that not surely heighten, surely increase in us the sacredness of our own existence? Whereas, it's one thing, that's appropriate to recognize that the energy that is in this space and time at this moment, like this, exists like this. That's okay. I can't, as much as we are connected to everything, my experience right now has to be acknowledged that I am a human person in this place, an individual. That's not the same as breaking off from the natural way of things, which is to recognize our connection and say, I can handle my own shit. That's not it. So, you know, uh, anyway, it's pretty awesome to realize that, it's really nice because it kind of scratches the surface for us of our soul. Like it's nice to read in books and holy writings of the sanctity of life, uh, um, sacred. But when you can take it down and really say, it's so funny. You can walk through life now being super stoked that my existence is just this huge, 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 just immeasurable and powerful thing. My life. Not when I walk around and I see all the people and I just feel like I get mixed in a crowd of numbers, right? And none of us is numbers. We can all experience this. But now to walk around and appreciate that, um, I'm more than this. I'm more than than the reflection, I guess, that looks back at me in the mirror. I'm more than the name I was given when I was birthed. I'm more than any of the ideas or ideals in this place could even, no matter what, I'm so much more than any of it. And that's perfectly healthy and wonderful. That's where we're supposed to be. It doesn't serve the mind, and it doesn't serve a society that is run by the mind, pretty much. But you know what? It serves truth. It is the thing that I really believe that we all will come to understand it, you know, but it's just perfect, you know? And these little lights I have out here in the living room are so pretty. And I don't have my glasses on, and you guys are really interested in this, and I know you are, that's why I'm talking about it. But I don't have my glasses on, and they're tiny little lights, like the Christmas lights that you wrap around your tree if you do those kinds of things. But because I don't have my glasses on for the third time, they're like these puff balls of light. And some of them are brighter, and some of them, I guess they're spaced differently. So it looks like some are brighter, some are darker. A couple of them look kind of yellowish. I'm not sure what that's about. Hope that it's not an indication of something bad about to happen involving fire. But anyway, really pretty. The one at the top actually looks like a dandelion. I guess they all kind of resemble like those little dandelions. Isn't that terribly interesting? Way more interesting than all that shit I was talking about the garden and paradise and sanctity of life, huh? I should have spent 20 minutes talking about the fucking lights. I love you guys. Bye.